Welcome to the Profits in Pajamas podcast. I'm Danielle D, or Coach Danni D, and I help women to create luxury brands by creating processes and tightening their branding. This is where we talk about how to build your business in a way that allows you to work with ease and enjoy your life. My happy space is spending as much time as humanly possible in my pajamas. And I want to help others to find their happy space while still running profitable businesses. So get comfortable and let's dig in. Hello and welcome to the Profits in Pajamas podcast. I am your host, Coach Danny D, and I am always here when small businesses find that place where they are able to work with ease, enjoy their life, and enjoy their business again. And for a lot of people, that's the thing that needs to happen. You need to get back to enjoying your business, especially as creative entrepreneurs. Sometimes, as we get into the other side of things, so we start to leave that space of, our creativity and, almost having a expensive hobby to really establishing a sustainable business. Sometimes we get in the weeds a little bit because that is not our happy space. Our happy space is creating. I happen to be a unicorn that loves both creating and building business and that whole analytical side. So that's me. So I like to share that with others so that because I know both sides. I know, what it's like to be in that creative space. And I also know what's necessary to put the structure behind it for it to be successful. So, what I want to talk to you about today is unlocking the cheat codes. So, we hear the term cheat codes used a lot when we're talking about other people having knowledge that you may need to grow your business. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit, but what I want to start with is your personal cheat code. So we have a tendency to look at business as business, and we have been told, especially as women, a lot that it's business, it's not emotional. And there's some truth to that, in a sense that there's certain parts of business that we need to put some boundaries around, and we need to stick to those boundaries, and we need to not necessarily um, get emotional about. So, like, once you set your pricing or your, policies for your business, you know that you were thoughtful about those things and you set them for a reason. And so they just become kind of automated. But we're still human beings. So we're still humans. We still have emotions. We still have ups and downs. And that's not often talked about in the entrepreneur space. So there's a lot of talk about you know how to succeed and all these other things, but there's not a lot of talk about what goes on internally as all of that is happening. There are a lot of people that will show you how to do a thing, but it's very important to do your self work and to work on mindset, because my belief is I can show you how to do a thing, but that information is not typically information that you couldn't have found if you really wanted to and were dedicated to do it. There's some reason why you're not doing it. Or I may be saying, I may be sharing that information. I may package it in a certain way that is, considered cheat codes, because I'm summing up I'm giving you the shortcut without having to go through all of the steps that I had to go through to get there. I'm just giving you the end. This is the end result. This is what my conclusion was. I did these 12 things and this was the thing that worked. That's what, working with a coach or, buying a program gets you. That gets you the cheat code to be able to work through what you need to work through in a expedited way, right? So that's that type of cheat code. But right now, what I'm talking about is a cheat code for working through your stuff. So until you work through your stuff, then you're going to be continuing a cycle. So, for instance, let's use, and I use this example just because it's a universal example. Let's use the example of, weight loss. Let's say that you're, trying to start eating better, right? And you are an emotional eater. And so you're struggling with eating better and doing better because you're an emotional eater. Okay. Well, I can tell you what to eat. I can tell you when to eat it and how much of it to eat. But until you uncover why you're an emotional eater, that information is not helpful because you're not in a position to process it because you have to figure out the why. Why am I doing this? Why, what makes me do this? So, one, I want to point out the importance of doing your mindset work as an entrepreneur because you're in charge. It's not like somebody else is telling you what to do. You're in charge. So the success of your business depends on your ability, you being equipped to handle what's going to come ahead of you. And that is a whole lot easier when you've done your self work and when you've worked on those things that may be, those mindset blocks that may be holding you back. It may be doubt, insecurity. It may be something that your parents told you that you really internalized. It may be not having appropriate coping mechanisms when things go wrong, not knowing how to, have professional interaction and relationships, separating that from your personal. It could be a lot of different things. So know the importance of mindset work. I incorporate mindset into every single program that I do because it's that important. That's where the cheat codes per se are unlocked. In saying that, once there's some things that you can kind of discover, figure out, and have that aha moment and make some, changes and keep it going. There's some things that are going to stick with you, but you need to learn how to cope with those things. So, when you talk about in psychology, they're always talking about coping mechanisms, like people come up with coping mechanisms for other things that are going on. What are those coping mechanisms for you? What are those things that help you get through and help you push through when you're feeling a certain way? A lot of times we don't think about it. We know that we may know that we have anxiety, or we may know that, we have a short attention span. We may know that we have periods where we're just not feeling it. We may know those things, but what are you one, sometimes we don't know. Sometimes we're having emotions and we don't really know what's going on. So I'm going to back up a little bit just to say start paying attention to your emotions, what triggers them, what pay attention to patterns. Because once you can identify them, then you can start working to heal them. And again, some things are going to stay with you, but you can work to figure out what triggers me. One, two, what helps me to snap out. So, for example, one thing that I've learned about myself is, excuse me, is when I start to feel anxiety. Now I used to suffer really bad with anxiety and not know what that was and why that was happening. Now I can feel it coming much sooner than previously. So previously, I didn't realize it until it was already paralyzing me. Now I can see it, feel it, hear it coming. And, I consider, if you've listened to past episodes, I consider my emotions, I give them personalities. They have their little personas. And I'm like, girl, I see you creeping. I see you coming. So I know that in that moment, I need to take some sort of action. I know that, she's that friend that wants to keep you, that comes over and wants to just sit on the couch and talk for hours and hours and hours and hours. And you're not going to get anything done because she is she's going to take over. So I know when I hear her coming, I need to start working because if she sees me working, she can go back where she came from. But if I give her the time and the space, she's going to expand. Excuse me. So I know that. And so I use that cheat code to help me to keep going. I know that, sometimes my energy level may dip. Okay. So I know that I have coping mechanisms for that. If I really feel like I'm tired, I'm gonna take a nap. I don't care how busy I am, I'm gonna take a nap because that reset sometimes is what you need to just really take off. Because if I'm working on that low energy, I'm not producing my best work anyway. So when I take that nap, could be 15 minutes. When I take that nap and I come back with a fresh brain, now I can just knock this stuff out. So that's another way that I deal with it. Sometimes I'm like, you know what? You're not really tired, but maybe you need a change of scenery. So I go sit outside. I, can go sit in a coffee shop, whatever it is to change up where I am so that I can have that reset that I need. Sometimes you're going to, especially when you're growing, expanding, you're going to have doubt about yourself. Am I ready? Can I do this? That's just natural. There's nothing wrong with it. Um, but when I have moments where I'm just like, am I doing the right thing? Or, am I good enough? All those types of moments, I go back and sit in my work. I go flip through previous work. I go flip through testimonials from clients and I sit in that why because it reminds me of why I do what I do. It reminds me of all that I've done before this moment. And if I've done that, I can do the next thing. Um, and that's why I encourage my clients to keep a success journal because sometimes you need to remind yourself. I'm saying all this to say learn your cheat codes, learn the things that are going to help you to get to that next level, to push forward, to be that best version of yourself because it's inevitable you're going to have moments where you're not feeling 100%. You just are. It's just natural. We all are going to go through different cycles, different moments. There are going to be moments when things are slow and your nerves are getting a little bit bad because when was the last time I booked something? That all is going to happen. Is a part of the process. But you want to make sure that you're keeping your mind straight, keeping yourself in the game, keeping yourself focused to go the long run to, to keep going. I'm a big football fan. I'm sure that they do this in other sports as well. But if you watch, you're watching your favorite team play, and they come out and they are just it's just trash. They're just not. It's you just like, oh Lord, what is happening today? And then they go in at halftime. And at halftime, the coach is about to reset them in the locker room. This first half, Lord Jesus, we don't want to talk about it, but let's focus and let's keep going. And so that reset, that halftime, that halftime reset is something that we all have to do as well. There are going to be times where it just feels like, you know what, this is not going the way it's supposed to be going. But you have the ability at any moment to sit still, to reset, and to move forward in a better way. So that's half of what I wanted to talk about. The other part, I'm going to be quick. I just wanted to, while I'm talking about cheat codes, utilize the cheat codes around you. We live in a day and time where there's so much information readily available for entrepreneurs that at one time was not. You can use tools like Canva and have amazing branding if that's something that you are, excuse me, if that's something that you're skilled at. Now, if that's not something you're skilled at, be honest with yourself and hire someone, because that's a cheat code too, hiring someone to do the things that you're not skilled at. But there's so many tools, there's so many courses, there's so many coaches, there's so many other resources available to help you get to that next level. And we are not utilizing those resources at the level that we should. It does not make sense to try to figure everything out on your own when someone else has already figured it out. It doesn't make sense to do things the hard way when someone has already created an easier way to do it. It just don't make sense. You're just wasting time, you're wasting energy that you could be spending getting to another level. Unlock those cheat codes as well. Unlock the cheat codes that are going to get you to another level. Stop putting so much stock in grit and hard work. Um, I promise you, these Fortune 500 companies are not working hard. They're working efficiently. They're working on making sure that they are productive, not active. That's a couple of weeks ago episode, so go back and check that one out. If you are uncertain about what resources are out there, what things that you can use and do, one, Google is your best friend of finding those resources. Now, I know people like Google and YouTube University, and I'm not saying that there's not valuable information out there. There's absolutely valuable information out there. But understand that most of that information is surface. There is other layers to it. Just go ahead and swipe your card and get the other layers and keep moving. I just finished a course with somebody a couple of weeks ago. I'm working on building that. I just finished doing a business credit course with Sheila Fluker. That's another old episode. Go back and catch the episode with Sheila Fluker. She dropped so many gems in that episode, but also go take her class. Um, but that was something I wanted to do. I could have sat there and tried to figure it out, but she already knows. So why would I not go and find out from someone who already knows and who can explain it in a way that is straightforward and easy for me to follow? Why wouldn't I do that? Now I'm taking another course because it's something I've been wanting to do. I have a stack of stuff sitting on the side because I want to do this thing. I'll tell y'all about that, once I'm finished the course, but I wanted to do it. Somebody was teaching it. Why not take it? So I want you to start thinking in that way. I want you to start investing in your future and getting there faster and not being complacent with good enough. Let's be excellent. Let's be excellent. And excellence is not found in working hard. Excellence is found in working smart. Excellence is found in working creatively. Excellence is found in being a steward of your time. That's where excellence is found. And excellence is found in being a whole happy person. And that's not found under your business, being under the thumb of your business or working all the time, being constantly in motion. That's not where it's found either. Again, those owners and CEOs of those Fortune 500 companies, I promise you, they are um, having balance in their lives. So that's what we want as well. We want to have the things that matter to us, but we also want to have successful businesses. So, in order to do those things, that's why my tagline for workflow is helping small businesses play big. We're going to emulate the positive things that they're doing in our small businesses to get those big results. But one of those things is unlocking cheat codes, your personal cheat codes and your business cheat codes. So I'm going to leave you with that. I'm always um, available for a discovery call if you want to figure out what that looks like in your business as far as, working with a coach, having guidance so that you're not just all over the place trying to figure it all out. So that link is in the show notes if you want to book a discovery call. It's a free discovery call. We can talk about what your next steps are, and I can make recommendations for what your next steps are and how we can work together to make sure that you're on that right track. So that's what I have for you guys this week, and I can't wait to see you next week. Thank you for listening to the Profits in Pajamas podcast. I hope you got some great tips to start working with ease. Want to stay connected? Follow me at Your Workflow on Instagram. For more information about building your luxury brand, register for my upcoming luxury brand workshop at CoachDanniD.com.